Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey at 6 p.m. on the evening of Monday, March 16th, 2026 in Cafeteria B of Westfield High School, 550 Dorian Road, Westfield, New Jersey. The board will move eventually into private session to discuss matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including negotiations, following presentations to our boys track team. We'll get you guys done first. The public portion of the meeting will resume following executive session. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the board and to transact any other business to come properly before the board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, NJ.com, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap Into Westfield, District website, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Patty, may I have a roll call, please?
Rob Bonaccio.
Here.
Kent Diamond.
Here.
Brendan Galligan. Charles Jelinas.
Here.
Layla Morelli.
Here.
Sonal Patel.
Here.
Kristen Sonic-Schmeltz.
Here.
Julie Steinberg.
Here.
Mary Wickens.
Here.
Mary, would you mind a flag salute, please? Okay, we have some presentations at this meeting, so just for those who may be waiting, we have our boys track team, which we'll talk about glowingly as usual. After that, the board will move into an executive session, and then later on in the meeting, we have the students who performed in the Roosevelt show coming to do a portion of that performance here. So we'll do that after executive session. So if anyone's here from Roosevelt, you'll have time between this presentation and then to set up and do whatever it is that you need. But since you guys are here and super prompt, we want to recognize that. And tonight we are very proud to recognize the Westfield High School boys winter track and field team for their outstanding season. These student athletes demonstrated exceptional dedication, perseverance, and teamwork, remaining fully committed to honing their skills and supporting one another throughout the season. Their hard work and unity are clearly reflected in their success. We also extend our sincere appreciation to the coaches and families whose guidance and encouragement continue to play an essential role in these students' athletic journeys. The Westfield High School boys winter track and field team captured their 5th consecutive NJSIAA North Jersey Section 2 Group 4 sectional championship. 5 in a row. Excellent. Before I ask Coach Chris Stefelski to say a few words, let me first call each member of the team up to receive a certificate of recognition from our superintendent. After you accept the certificate, please proceed to the stage to await a photograph. Your families will be invited to take pictures as well. I apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. We'll start with Jason Alves. Next, Leroy Armstrong. Griffin Bach. Toby Bronstein. Christian Buonapane. Lucas Damji. Nikos Devlouros. Nicholas Dana. Rocco Dana. Robbie Epstein. Douglas G. Brent Kingary. Matthew Lagozzo. Akash Mehta. Francesco Mola. Siwe and Lovu. Michael Pacifico. Luke Romano. Pierce Rowan. Luke Shiner. Lincoln Stager. Rashawn Talati. Brody Torriello. And Zach Turetsky. And now for the coaches, if you've joined us tonight, please come up for a certificate and a photo. We'll start with head coach Chris Stafelsky. Just hang out at the podium. Assistant coach Antonio Scott. Assistant coach Eric Anderson. Assistant coach John Preston. Assistant coach Kyle Mueller. Volunteer coach Stevenson Cayuste. Co-coach Ricardo Johnson. And co-coach Mirjana Bannock. Usually I think we have Coach Stafelsky, if you want to deliver a few remarks for the team.
Thank you very much for taking the time to recognize these boys. We're really fortunate that we have a tradition now among our program. We've got kids who are committed to the very hard work that it takes to pull off something like this again. We're supported by our district, our building administration, our athletic department, our athletic trainers, Westfield Boosters and the Friends of Westfield Track and Field. Really takes everybody from all sides. The family support that we enjoy is really tremendous and I think really special. Something that a number of other coaches have told me at other schools that they wish they enjoyed is the support that they get from all the angles that we can frankly take for granted sometimes because it can be so automatic and so beneficial. We got a lot of new faces here for a lot of these guys. This was their first taste of varsity competition in track and field. I really got to commend these guys because it was a really challenging winter. The winter threw us a number of curveballs. We had the snowstorms, of course. We had some days where it was too cold to be outside, and we had to figure out some way to get some indoor work done. If there were complaints, they were smart enough not to do it around us coaches. But nevertheless, it got done. What we needed to do to get to the level we needed to do to make something like this happen, it got done. We've got a lot of these guys who are going to be back with us again for this coming spring and for next year too. So we're really excited for what the future brings for this group too. So thank you very much again.
All right, so again, what we're going to do is the board's going to do a quick executive session. That'll give our Roosevelt folks some time to set up, and then we'll be right back to hear the performance. So I ask the board to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law, including negotiations, and be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. Do I have a second, please? Kent, second. We can do, a voice vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are in exec session. 6:31, board's returned from executive session, and we're going to get back into some fun stuff. On behalf of the board, it is my pleasure to welcome the Roosevelt Intermediate School Spring Musical Cast under the direction of Jackie Fogel as they present the Addams Family Young at Part. We are thrilled to have these talented students share their energy, creativity, and hard work with us tonight. Please join me in giving them a warm welcome, and I will slide out of here because nobody wants to watch me participate in that. I'll leave it on. You got it.
I'll just introduce briefly, our students closed this weekend, so Saturday was their last performance. It was our first sold-out show, and at least at the time I've been working here, so we were really excited about it. And I think they earned that sold-out show. They put in so much hard work, and it was beautifully done. It was beautifully done. So I know that they are super excited to have one more encore performance. You know, we're working with a different stage as best we can, but I know they're going to do a great job. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy as well. All right.
My daughter's getting married, I can't believe it's true. She doesn't ask her mother before she says I do. And how about my husband and constant naive? This evening's getting serious, these old hirelings won't leave. But I can't let these latest troubles rob me of my bliss. For when I'm scared of true disaster, I remember this. Death is just around the corner, waiting patiently to strike. One unplanned electrocution, that's the kind of end I can comprehend when I'm feeling uninspired, or I need a little spree. I'm reborn, knowing death is just around the corner, coming after me. Coroner! Get it? Death is just around the corner. Death is just around the corner, waiting up on the hill. Someone buried in an ambush. That's the kind of gift she really did. And often disappoints you. Not each husband is a death. So there more no death is just around the corner. If life so blows, I'll muddle through some. But when death comes, I hope it's gruesome. Hacha! Death is just around the corner, and you have to heed the call. Don't ask why, for your death is just around the corner. You and I, happy being both the mourned and mourner, say goodbye, because death is just around the corner, coming for us all. I don't have a sunny disposition. I'm not known for being too amused. My demeanor's locked in one position. See my face, I'm enthused. Suddenly, however, I've been puzzled. Bunny rabbits make me want to cry. All my inhibitions have been muzzled, and I think I know why. I'm being pulled in a new direction. In a new direction. I think I like it. I think I like it. I'm being pulled in a new direction. Through my painful pursuit, somehow birdies took root. All the things I detested, impossibly cute. God, what do I do?
What a cold and dark night. It's perfect. I think I'll sneak a moment with my little moon. Yoo-hoo, where are you hiding? Are you playing with me, my only one? There you are. Look at her. Lovely is she not? And so far away. Yes, in matters of love, my dears, distance is our friend. Closeness, no thank you. 250,000 miles away? That's a good distance for romance. We never fight, and each waning is a heartbreaking separation. Each meeting, a happy reunion. When the day lightens and the moon ascends, I would rather be just the moon and me. When I feel her pull, then my heart is full, and the night is softly, sweetly calling. Faster, look and see. La 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 la. It's a dream that's coming true when the moon says I love you. How it can feel when love is real. La 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 la.
boys. I learned from you. I wasn't happy. I wasn't true. But then the way you spoke at dinner touched my soul. Completely crazy yet completely in control. So when you kicked me out, I said, let's rock and roll. So I'll be crazier than you, much crazier than you. It warms me up to see you living large. When I'm crazier than you, much crazier than you, I'll drop the plan, you'll be the man in charge.
All this time and all I needed was the hope that you'd submit.
Too afraid and too conceited to believe that you were it. But the journey's now completed.
I miss you, pumpkin, come to mama. I'm gonna treasure you in death as well as life. I'm gonna touch you with my love and with my knife.
Time
Now you live as my tormentor and your wife. When I'm crazier than
I'm
you,
crazier than
I'm
you.
crazier than
Oh,
you.
tell me what to
Hell, live or
do.
die, I'll let you have control. I'm crazier than you. So say you love me too. From here on in, you're singing to my soul. My soul. When you're adults, you have a very special duty. When you're adults, you're obligated to the clan.
It's family first and family last and family by and by.
When you're an adult, the standard answers don't apply. When you're an adult, you do what Adams do or die. We did it. All right.
Okay, next up, that was fantastic. I told Dr. Gonzalez the song Death Around the Corner is what we thought about our state aid for a little while, but we'll save that for the budget presentation. Let's start with some board announcements. CJ, you want to start, please?
Westfield Public Schools will be closed on March 20th in observance of Eid el-Fitr and on March 30th through April 5th for spring break.
Julie?
Congratulations to the Westfield High School girls basketball team on winning the NJSIAA North Shoe Group 2 Sectional Championship. The Blue Devils are now back-to-back sectional champions and have captured the title 3 times in the past 5 years, an incredible accomplishment that reflects the talent, determination, and teamwork of this outstanding group of student athletes. We look forward to recognizing the team and celebrating their remarkable season at the April 7th Board of Education meeting.
Leila?
Westfield Public Schools proudly celebrated Read Across America Week from March 2nd through the 6th, with students and staff across the district coming together to share their love of reading. Throughout the week, students participated in author assemblies, themed activities, and guest readers, all designed to inspire a lifelong love of books and learning.
Mary, do you have one?
The Unsung Hero Award is given out annually by the Union County School Board Association in coordination with the New Jersey School Boards Association, recognizing students who make outstanding contributions to their schools and communities. Westfield High School proudly honors Jose Flores Rodriguez as the 2026 Westfield High School recipient of the Union County Unsung Hero Award.
Kent?
Thank you. We are thrilled to celebrate the Westfield High School Chamber Orchestra, led by Orchestra Director and Teacher of Writing and Arranging, Craig Stanton, for their outstanding performance at the Central Jersey Music Educators Association High School Orchestra Festival. The group earned a gold rating, the highest honor at the festival. This recognition reflects the hard work, talent, and dedication of these amazing student musicians. Bravo to the orchestra and Mr. Stanton for representing Westfield High School so well. Thank you.
Sonal?
Congratulations to Westfield High School senior Grace Mattis for being named a finalist in the 2026 National Merit Scholarship Program. Grace is one of more than 16,000 top high school seniors nationwide to advance from semifinalist to finalist, a recognition of her outstanding academics, leadership, and dedication. National Merit Scholarship winners will be announced from March through July 2026.
The next regular public board meeting will be on Tuesday, April 7th in Cafeteria B at Westfield High School, beginning at 7 p.m. The meeting will be live streamed via the district YouTube channel, which viewers can access on the board tab on the district website. Thank you.
Next, we'll move to a report by District Administration. Dr. Gonzalez? And Patty, sorry.
We are pleased this evening to present the third in our series of presentations to both the public as well as the Board of Education, our 2026-2027 budget overview. This has been a process that has been in the works for several months now, with public presentations beginning in January, and each step of the way trying to bring us closer and closer to the point where we are able to present a final draft for budget review and approval. This evening, Ms. Ramos and I are both going to present as the final details of the budget presentation this evening are really focused on the fiscal details. For the prior two presentations, we've talked about all the programs and opportunities that have been supported from the current school year budget and everything that we had proposed to include for the upcoming school year budget. So this evening, we're going to provide an update as to what has happened since the last time we've presented, how did we get to the point where we are today, and ultimately conclude with the estimated tax impact of this budget for the coming school year. And then, of course, finalize our presentation just looking at the weeks ahead to get us through to the finish line. So what has happened between last meeting and now? Well, the most important thing is that the governor has released her State of the State address, which includes a budget presentation that allocates resources to all portions of the state government, including the Department of Education. 2 days subsequent to that presentation, the districts throughout the state received notice of their allocations for the coming school year. And just to put it into context, everyone had seen the headlines leading up to the budget address that suggested that there was a large budget deficit at the state level that the governor was going to have to contend with, something to the tune of almost $3 billion. So all schools and school districts throughout the state were hyperventilating and wondering what we were going to encounter. Then the days leading up to the budget address, we heard that there was going to be an increase in state allocations to education. To education doesn't necessarily mean to schools, but it could mean in large portions to various aspects of public education. But we were thrilled that when the allocations were released 2 days after the budget address, that we were recipients of a 6% increase in state aid compared to the prior year. So this slide indicates that that increase represents about an additional $534,000 in state aid that we received as a school district. Now, although the majority, or I don't want to say the majority, although many school districts throughout the state did see a similar increase in state aid in terms of percentage, not all districts did. Not all districts received an increase. So this is certainly something that we welcome, that we are appreciative of, And in our efforts to keep our budget within a base budget that met the allowable tax levy increase with the necessary adjustments, we were certainly thrilled that that relief came in the form of state aid. So our budget does include a portion of that, but the increase that we incorporated was used to be able to offset taxes for the 26-27 school year. So from the last time that we presented to this presentation this evening, the administration worked together, both at the department level and at the school level, to look at the items that were included in our initial proposed budget in order to make determinations as to what we would either have to forego or what we could reduce in order to reach a tax levy impact that would stay within the allowable context so that the Board of Education would be able to approve it. And what that means is, in the state of New Jersey, the tax levy cap is capped at 2%. However, allowable adjustments are made when there are increases in enrollment or health care such that the state recalculates that tax impact or that tax levy cap in order to adjust for that. So for Westfield, our marching orders last board meeting were to stay within that allowable tax levy cap with the adjustments. So to do that, we made adjustments relative to our furniture line so that we had been for the last several years looking at renewing our furniture starting in first grade, then second grade, and this year we were planning for third grade. We also looked at our professional services lines to identify areas that we could reduce and be able to still operate our school district with the necessary professional services to do so. We also looked at our technology and equipment supplies to be able to make determinations what we would be able to reduce and therefore what we would be able to continue to need in order to operate our school district. So in all of these areas, we shaved funds off in order to help us stay within the tax levy cap. We also made adjustments or looked at our staffing in order to identify what adjustments could be made. So that may be retirements or resignations and the breakage that would occur if those individuals were then filled again using the breakage between the higher salary that either retired or resigned and a lower salary that we would be able to hire a new staff member at. That breakage again was applied to this budget. We also looked at our property and liability insurance. We looked at our supply line items, as well as any additional staff or programs that we were looking at making for next year. We put a hold on and a pause on for this coming year. So when you combine all of those reductions, when you combine all of the cost cutting that was implemented, we were able to come up with the board a response to the board direction last meeting that allowed us to stay within our allowable tax levy cap. So for the next few slides, I'm going to hand it off to our business administrator, Ms. Ramos, to walk us through what the resultant expenditures, revenues, as well as the tax impact is for the coming year. Patty?
So this slide with the projected expenditures does not change by much because anything that we reduced, it didn't make that big of an impact on the overall costs of the district. So if you go to the next slide, the projected revenues, again, you see the largest chunk of this, the blue, is our local tax levy. That went down by 1% and the state aid went up by just about 1%. Didn't really change the pie chart by much, but we'll take it because it was a little bit more that we weren't expecting. Now, this slide that you've seen in the past, our bar chart, we always had our proposed budget and then the amount that we were going out for the second question. After last month's board meeting, we went back and we just went to what the cap was, which if you remember, and you'll see on a future slide, we were over 7% with our initial budget plus our ask that we were looking to go to the public with. We were able, with the state aid that we received, to get it down to 5.97 within cap. Now, as Dr. Gonzalez was saying, the tax levy cap and banked cap. So our base cap is 2%. Our health adjustment was 4.3%. Again, this is generated because state health benefits went up by over 30% this year. So because of that, the state uses that calculation, applies it to all districts, and allows us to exceed cap in any given year that happens. That's not a guarantee for every year. It may not happen again next year, but it did this year. So our allowable increase was 6.3% without a separate proposal. That's where we were at when we went back and looked through this whole budget. Our proposed budget is down to 5.97% because of the increase in the state aid. So the 6.3 was before we got the state aid. When we got the state aid, we applied it to the budget. It brought it down to 5.97. Now, what does that mean? That means that for the first time in quite a while in Westfield, we're going to have banked cap because the state allows us to go to that 6.3%. We have $391,802 that will be called banked cap. What that means is it gets held within the state budget software system. It's nothing on our books, on our records, but for next year when I go in, if the cap is only 2% and there's no health adjustment next year, I will be able to do the 2% plus that $391,000 if the board so chooses. It's not that we have to, it's available to us for the next 3 years to use, to go exceed the 2% cap. Because again, the health adjustment is not a guarantee in any given year. Next year, it might just be a cap of 2%. That $391,000 could then be used there. And now we go to our proposed tax impact. And you'll see on the left, the middle column shows where we were at for our first initial presentation. It was 7.63%. That included everything. The additional programs that we were looking at, that we were considering going to the public for, and the base budget. We were at 7.63. After our revisions and our state aid, we received our state aid, we are now at 5.97, which brings the annual tax increase down to $543 from $749 in our original budget. And then we have our next steps.
So just to summarize, everything that we've been presenting over the last several months has really been to demonstrate to the board and to the public that we continue to be guided by our strategic plan and the initiatives that we have been putting in place over the last several years to grow and expand opportunities for students in this district. Every year, we revisit that plan and develop a budget that allows us to reach those goals. But we do so with the fiscal picture in mind. This is the first year that we find ourselves having to make some difficult decisions about whether or not we're able to continue that work. So I just want to make sure that it's clear to everyone watching, as well as the Board of Education, that this doesn't derail us. What it does is it just pumps the brakes and slows us down. It allows us to continue to use our strategic plan as our North Star to keep us guided and working in the right direction, but we do recognize the fiscal implications of all of the above when making these decisions, and we appreciate everyone's consideration in that. So over the next several weeks, there's still a couple items to get us to the finish line. After tonight, after the board approves a preliminary budget, that budget will then be transmitted to the county office of the Department of Education for their review. That review makes sure that it is compliant within the state standards and expectations. They're not qualitatively making decisions about our programs or allocations. They're just making sure that it's compliant. Once that is returned back to us, we will then hold our public budget hearing on April 7th, which is why we had to adjust our meeting schedule in March and April in order for us to be able to meet the statutory requirements. But remember, that would mean that after April 7th, then our budget for next year will be finalized, and there is no additional vote that will be presented to the public for the budget. Then on April 21st, the vote that will be faced by this community will be for the Board of Education candidates. So again, the budget will be finalized on April 7th after the budget hearing. So with that, we'll conclude our presentation and then open it up for board questions and discussion.
Any takers? Start with Kristen.
What does the third grade furniture cost?
The third grade furniture is budgeted at approximately $300,000.
Okay, and then I thought the banked cap was going to be closer to 500,000, but you said 391,000. Okay.
Banked cap is 390,000.
Okay. I have more questions. I just thought
I don't, Kent, you want to go, or?
Yeah, I just want to say, no questions, just thank you. I appreciate the work you went into it. And after the last 2-hour board meeting where we met for 2 hours on the budget, I heard from a lot of residents who supported the no second question solution. So I'm glad you took that under consideration and presented a budget that met that. Thank you.
Julie?
I want to echo what Kent said. And I also just want to say, as the most junior member of the Finance and Facilities Committee, what a pleasure it's been to learn despite the challenges of this particular budget and this particular year to be a learning education agency, to see how well managed the process was by our board members, by Patty, by the administration, to see when compromises had to be made, how well done that was. I just want to say that having a view in the cheap seats was quite an eye-opening experience, but really gave me a tremendous amount of confidence in what we do here. And I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to have that experience. And thank you for your hard work, Patty, especially, and Dr. Gonzalez.
Kristen?
Okay, so I have another question. I'm going to suggest that the board consider recommending to use some of the proposed bank cap to continue to move us forward, and the one place that I'm going to suggest it be is Money Matters. The reason for that is because I've heard nothing but amazing things from sixth grade families. It's going to affect a lot of our students, and so that will give us an opportunity to at least increase and improve, continue to move forward in some of our programming. And I just think it would be a nice thing for those families who are all, that's what I've heard throughout the district and in curriculum, that, it's an amazing course, and it would be nice to extend it into the 7th grade. They're all looking for that. We've heard it at PTC. Of course, I'm also in favor of GT, but I understand that affects a smaller portion of the community. But I would like to see us move forward in some way, and so I would propose that to the board.
Okay. You good? All right. All right, I don't know that there are further comments.
So we just wanted to remind everyone that the preliminary budget that it's approved tonight is the budget that will be presented again on April 7th. So between now and then, we won't be revising or adjusting. So if there are any changes, based upon a request, it would have to be determined tonight.
Can you let us know what approximately that would cost to add Money Matters?
Money Matters was an additional 2 staff? 3. Right, so how many staff? Yeah, so approximately 1 additional full-time equivalent staff member to cover the 3 sections at one school, 2 sections at the other. So we estimate a starting salary at the step 1 level. So when you combine the starting salary with benefits, we're looking at approximately $110,000 to $120,000.
Okay. And Dr. Bolton, is your perception the same as mine, that 6th grade was very much appreciated? Like, I just want to make sure this isn't an odd request.
The
Like,
recommendation for Money Matters in 7th grade was as a result of the success of the 6th grade, which is why, whether it be this year or next year, it would definitely continue to be on our list for next steps.
Right. But our 6th graders that are in it now would miss out on that opportunity then?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know how we go about suggesting that, but. So do I make a motion now?
So I guess from a process perspective, obviously.
In finance, right?
Yeah, I think from a process perspective, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that if there's going to be a motion to add, that'd probably be done during board action and finance. That be fair, or is it?
Maybe it's a bad idea.
If there is a change to the budget, then we would have to make that change after we submit it. So we would have to approve it as is, and if there's a recommendation, then Patty would need to use the time in between to change all the numbers and what is currently on the budget items to be approved. Those would have to be adjusted if we were to make those changes.
Okay, so we would, I want to make sure I've got the process down. So we would vote, so I think my suggestion would be, and again, I'm free to be told that it's not there, would be, we would vote then on the budget as is during the finance portion of the meeting, and then raise a separate motion to add that particular portion back in, assuming it passed, then Patty would be able to work through that in the time in between. Is that
My
fair?
recommendation,
If it's,
yeah. My recommendation would be that, as we did last time, we use this to get a straw poll to determine whether or not a change would be necessary. If that change would be necessary, then we would know moving into the next portion, when we move into action, that the action would either approve the preliminary as the final, or the preliminary with the understanding that we would make adjustments by the next board meeting.
okay, so why don't we, I like that idea, that works. That way. I'll take it. Collaborative is wonderful, I'll take it.
I could just say it again. Because we're just doing a straw vote, so we're not. So I'm suggesting that the board consider recommending that we use some of the proposed bank cap to continue to move us forward. And the item that I'm choosing is money mindset, because it affects the most students.
Okay, so I will let's do some comment, a little straw polling on that, and then from there, we can decide whether or not it should be a formal motion later on. That works, okay. Anyone want to jump in? Where do we go?
So, so I think it's actually an interesting idea. It's hard to do it on the fly, but I actually really like and respect Madam Vice President very much, and I want to accommodate. My concerns are twofold. You know, one is doing it on the fly. My second is threefold, actually. My second is the larger macroeconomic place that we're in, and how hard it was to find pockets of anything this time. Like, I really watched quite a circus from my viewpoint. Like, I came from an accounting world, and I really thought I had seen it all, and I really had not. And I think I made everyone crazy with the, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what about this? And after a while, everyone's like, Julie, please, we've thought about all of these things. And I was like, no, you don't understand. So I really, I feel like we squeezed every drop of juice. And I'm nervous because I feel like we're in very uncertain times now, and we're moving into further uncertain times every week. So that's kind of on my mind. And the third thing that is on my mind is the kindergarten costs for next year and what that's going to look like in terms of how we're going to budget for that, as well as how we're going to budget for eventually those gifted teachers, which I'm not giving up on, because as we spoke, I believe in your curriculum concepts and Dr. Bolton's curriculum concepts. It's just a question of how do we do it. So that my only concern with doing it right now on the fly, making this call, is, how do we keep this budget process moving forward all of us give it serious consideration and manage those concerns. That being said, I very much respect Kristen, and I take her concerns and her preferences very seriously because they generally pan out to be the correct thought process in my observation in my time here.
Anyone else? Go ahead. Oh, sorry, CJ.
Oh, I was just going to ask, so on the straw poll, if we vote on the straw poll today, that would allow us to maybe take a second look at the numbers and have a more formal vote with the revised budget next period? Is that how that works?
So if we were to take a straw poll this evening, it would give the administration the direction to return on April 7th with a budget that includes the
Gotcha.
The addition.
Okay.
And Patty and I had conferred earlier, the addition of one additional FTE would increase the tax increase to 6.06%.
Okay.
So it would be about a 0.09% increase, or
Okay.
0.09
Thank you.
increase.
So my concern is just, not really a concern, but my question is, why this class? Why this position? And I think that's where we get in the weeds a little bit here. While I think that it's an important class and I think that it was successful, so is the new gifted and talented curriculum, so is, whatever else, I'm not going to say furniture, but so are other positions and other curriculums. So I think that's where I am a little hesitant to specifically point out this one particular course because, again, like there's sign language, there's a bunch up, and then I think, like Julie said, to do it on the fly might, if we're talking about negotiating and picking and choosing what is most important, like, I think we need to look at that more thoroughly. That's just my opinion.
Just for clarification, I think, is sign language and macroeconomics happening? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. And just,
take it back.
I agree with you.
Take it
I just like the idea of Westfield continuing to move forward. I don't like the idea of pausing. That's just me. And the reason I'm choosing that is simply because of the number of students it affects. It's not an easy decision.
Okay. While I also like the idea of moving forward, I would not support making this change at this stage. I think it would be prudent for us to have some banked cap for the future in light of the way things are moving and happening in the state and with all the budgets going across and with things that we're doing in our district, as well as at this last stage, based on what administration has gone and reworked from the last meeting, I would suggest we stick with the existing plan.
Thank you. Yeah, I do like the idea of moving forward, but as I said last meeting, costs, especially for the average homeowner, are up. Utility costs are up. Medical insurance are up. Gas is now up significantly since the last meeting. We have no idea what the impact of the war is going to be on our economy and our local, what we pay for things. We had big increases the last couple of years. We know next year we'll have the increases from the bond repayments. The year or two after that, we're going to ask for more money for kindergarten teachers. I'm still in favor of just taking a step back. I'm not saying we're going to eliminate them, because I think the programs that Dr. Bolton and the CIP worked on are great. I'd love to implement them all. But it's like a household budget. At some point, you got to pick and choose and strategize what's priority number one, priority number two, and priority number three. So I think we leave the budget as is and move forward. Thanks.
Rob?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Barry, go ahead.
Sorry. Thanks, CJ. Kent and I are on the same page also in terms of being a little bit more conservative at this time. It's very unpredictable times. There's a lot of families out there who 0.09% makes a difference, especially at this time. So I want to be able to speak up for those families who are in this town and are doing several different jobs, different ways to try and get their kids to this school, because it's a really good school.
And I agree with you, Kristen. It is a great thing for our kids to have that financial literacy experience. I also think that there are ways we can work around that. Like if we have some curriculum for 6th grade, can we make that available online for parents to do with their kids? Because a lot of parents don't know how to, start that up at home, how to make their kids, go through what's a checkbook, people don't use checks anymore. Okay. What's a account? How do I save? How much is this going to cost? Do I get interest? Things like that. Just some materials they could do at home too to help support that, going forward. But I do want to see it. I do want to see it in the future. Yes.
I take what Kent and Mary both said very seriously, that there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy, and that's why I would suggest actually the opposite. I think, this class, among others, all equally worthy, or all on the, all on the docket to be incorporated at some point in the near future. So there is a valid question why this one versus another, but all of them we're going to push for, hopefully, in the next period of time, according to the plan that we have. And so I think strike while the iron is hot, if we forgive the aphorism, but, if we have the money now, it might be worth using it now for something worthwhile that it does affect a lot of students rather than waiting for an uncertain period next year. That's my thought.
And just to be clear, we don't actually have the money, right? The way I'm understanding this is it's a percentage, and we're voting whether or not to apply it
increase
to this
the
year's
tax
tax or a future tax. But no matter what, it's hitting our taxpayers.
Yes,
No?
the question is,
Patty's saying no.
as a tax levy,
She's saying that we have to use it at some point. You don't have to use the bank cap.
no, so the use of banked cap,
Oh, I get that you don't have to use it. You can use it in the next 3 years, but if you choose to use it, then it would hit our taxpayers at some point.
correct. So so banked cap is not banked state aid. Banked cap is either allowing us to use the money in a future budget next year, the year after, or the year after. After that, then it's no longer available to us to be able to adjust our tax levy cap.
But when you're saying use the money, it's not there's money waiting, it's use the percentage
To increase the tax levy.
Right, to increase tax, which means therefore that's getting money from taxpayers. I just want to make sure that's as clear as possible. This is not easy stuff, so when Julie talked about asking all the questions, I did the same thing when I was on the board, first time sitting on finance. I asked all these questions and I got real sad real fast when I found out that so much of it did not work in a way I would have thought it would have worked. So that's why I'm glad for the clarification on that. All right, so I think everybody's kind of said their piece. Maybe we'll just do like a little raise of hands or something, if you don't mind, and we'll straw poll it with hands. All right, so I guess the straw poll we'll start with anyone who's in favor of making a motion later to include this particular class as part of the budget process, the thought process. I got 2. Okay. I'm going to assume the others are not. Okay. All right. But look, this is, it's true. Any of that? Yeah. Oh, no. Nobody's getting away with that in the straw poll. That's not happening. Look, this is why I like this group. Like I've said a bunch of times, in a lot of different contexts, how much I appreciate this board. And you don't get a lot of time in the public to see the decisions and the decision-making that goes behind. I'm not sure there was a wrong answer here, to be very honest. I'm going to totally Switzerland this, so don't worry about it. But seriously, I don't know that there's no wrong answer to choose between a great course and to choose between, kind of helping taxpayers. It's not an easy choice, but there isn't a wrong one. And what's great, for the public to see is that our public has elected a board of very different opinions, very different thought processes, and you make your best decisions utilizing all of those things. So, I think there's two things that come out of this that are sometimes at odds, and in this particular case, I think they work together. One is, how do you ensure, you're protecting your taxpayers, which I think is being done here, but also how do you ensure that your school district doesn't run in place? And I think it's very clear that, yes, it's important to handle taxpayers, but yes, there's no one on this board who doesn't think we need to be moving forward as soon as we possibly can and to continue all the great work that our staff and our group is doing. So with that, go ahead, Dr. Gonzalez.
I thank everyone. I thank everyone for their, consideration and advocacy for our students and for the program. So everything that was discussed this evening, had been labors of love for the members of our staff who put in the time and energy to create these experiences. So certainly we appreciate the respect of that time and energy and the value of that. But I also want to just make sure that it's not lost. Even though today was a very succinct presentation, I want to go back to the prior two presentations to remind everyone that the pause is the pause on the expansion of some of those programs that we had mentioned. The pause would be on our furniture acquisition for the refresh of our third grade furniture. But we will continue and are continuing, built into the base budget, to do the work that we have started around expanding the coursework, as was just mentioned, around the continuation of implementing gifted and talented assessments to help us refine both our identification as well as our work with our G&T students. We are going to continue to develop our assessment and data platforms for use by students and by staff. So there is a lot of forward movements that's continuing to take place. So I don't, when we talk about a pause, I know I use that word, I don't want to suggest in any way that everything's on pause. It was just those additions that we included as the additional funding proposal that would have been placed on pause. Everything else, minus the furniture, is intended to continue to move forward in the way that we had planned. So the student experience will continue to benefit from the hard work. So I do want to thank you for that support, and I want to thank the administration for all the work that they've done to get us there. Thank you. Thank you, Patty.
Anything else on the report, or you're good? Okay. All right. And with that, we will move to the high school student representative report. Ben?
Last week, Mrs. Fendis met with her student advisory committee once again, making sure that students remain in the loop and are able to have their voices heard in the administration's decision-making. Representatives discussed student IDs, the upcoming Smart Pass system, lunchtime schedules, and the lockdown a few weeks ago. WHS's DECA Club recently returned from the organization's state competition, boasting a new officer on the state board and one student moving on to the national round of competition. While only one student qualified for nationals, 3 moved on into the final round of judging, and the rest of the students gained valuable experience as the next generation's leaders through workshops, networking, and business roleplays. The Chamber Orchestra and its director, Mr. Craig Stanton, had an amazing performance last Monday at the Central Jersey High School Music Educators High School Orchestra Festival. They earned the gold rating, the highest honor given at the festival. Following a silver rating last year, this achievement truly highlights the technical skill and musicianship of our students, who are key in constantly advancing the excellence of our arts program as a whole. And speaking of the arts, the theater department has completed showings of its spring musical production of The Prom. The feedback was awesome. Audience members found it extremely funny, and they said that they had an amazing time. Our theater productions are always excellent, and they always display in the best possible ways the hard work, passion, and talent of our students. A quote from High Zibe by senior Kelsey Dix, who played the lead role of Dee Dee Allen: "We don't do anything for awards. They're just a bonus. All that matters is that we put our best foot forward and we put on the best performance we can, and that we're proud of it. That's the most rewarding feeling." And considering that we do win a lot of awards, that's a pretty significant quote. The Westwood High School mock trial team also recently ended another great season. A school club, they meet outside of school hours to debate, prepare, and drill all things law related. This year, they made it to the Union County semifinals. The No Place for Hate Committee held its winter book club last Thursday to discuss the graphic novel Brownstone by Samuel Tier and Mar Julia. Members were able to have fun with great food and discussion of the coming-of-age story chronicling the experience of navigating your heritage even when you don't quite fit in. It was another successful event that showcased WHS's strides towards a more aware and inclusive community. Last Friday, the Spanish Club wrote letters to students at the School of Hope in Jocotenango, Guatemala. It was a great experience for students to initiate a more personal connection while allowing them to practice their language skills and share their culture. Looking forward, the Red Cross Club will be sending members to Franklin Elementary School next Monday to educate third graders on water safety. It's important to know how to stay safe in and around water, especially with the transition into spring, and this is also a good time for WHS students to stay in touch with and give back to the community. Finally, next Friday will also be the SGA and Community Service Club's activity period, a culmination of weeks of hard work and community involvement. On top of a student-staff basketball game, students will be packing more than 1,000 toiletry kits and writing letters to veterans and the elderly. All proceeds from the basketball game will be donated to the Wounded Warrior Project. Additionally, there will also be a Spirit Week that week, and on top of that, a book drive for the Westfield Public Library and Book of Bridges. This week and its related activities are one full of impact. It shows that together, WHS cares. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. Now move to our board committee reports. We'll start with curriculum instruction and programs. Layla?
Yes, okay, sorry about that. During our meeting this month, Dr. Bolton provided the committee with an update on the work of the district committee that is currently reviewing and revising the district's grading policy 2624 and homework policy 2330 and the accompanying regulations. These two policies are integral to the teaching and learning experiences that occur both in and outside of our classrooms each day. As the policies have not been updated in more than a decade, the goal of the committee's work is to revise the existing policies so that they reflect current research and best practices in a modern educational system. The committee discussed the importance of ensuring that grading practices accurately reflect student learning and that homework expectations are purposeful, developmentally appropriate, and supportive of student growth. Board members who are interested in sharing their reflections or thoughts on the revision of these two policies are welcome to communicate with the SIP committee chairs. The SIP committee also reviewed and approved 3 overnight field trips. These trips, which provide valuable experiential learning opportunities for students, are included on tonight's agenda for full board approval. Finally, Dr. Bolton presented the committee with facade renderings prepared by FKA architects for the work that will take place at the schools impacted by the district's referendum projects. The renderings demonstrate the thoughtful planning that has gone into the design process, ensuring that new additions blend seamlessly with the aesthetic of the existing buildings, while also incorporating modern and innovative design elements that will support the needs of students and staff for years to come. FKA architects will present at the April 14th Board of Education meeting to provide the full board with a presentation on the facade renderings. The next SIP meeting will be held on April 13th, where the committee will hear from Ms. Ana Munoz, who will present on the district's professional development program.
Thank you. Next, finance and facilities. Kent?
All right, thank you. Let me get my notes up. All right, we met this past Friday. It was a fun-filled time had by all. We talked about the budget in great detail, but I'm not going to bore you with those topics again. We talked about the referendum. We had an update. FKA Architects and Legacy Construction will be at our next board meeting on April 14th. I'm sorry, the April 14th meeting to show the renderings for the projects, as Layla just said. We had a quick preview during the Finance Committee meeting. It's pretty cool to watch all the videos and what the schools will look like. On the agenda for approval tonight are the 2 electric service upgrade projects. They came in within budget and are being awarded to the lowest bidder, which happens to be the same contractor, TSUG, for both. We currently have an RFP out for energy consulting services related to the referendum projects. The awarded consultant will help us to apply for grants and incentives related to all of the HVAC and electrical work done within the project. For this year's budget, 25-26 budget, with all the focus on next year's budget, we still have this year's budget to look at. Health benefits were stable for the month of February, which is good. It's been a roller coaster ride this year with up significantly, down, up significantly. So we were stable, which is a good sign. We're hoping it's a trend going forward, but we're not ready to say that at this point. At this point, we'll be about $1 million over the budget number for health benefits, but we have reserves in place to use in addition to the fact that we did slow down spending in anticipation of this occurring. So overall, we're in good shape. That's it for finance. Yes?
I just wanted to mention, just per the recent discussion, that we did also briefly discuss the Gifted and Talented program and how the revised budget structure may affect some additional requests to the administration, and also some additional outstanding pending policy items that we've sent to PPG that are pending review, and we are looking forward to feedback from the PPG committee on.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. Quick report from Policies, Personnel, and Governance. Mary?
Yes, thank you. We do not have a report tonight. We are meeting this Thursday as a committee, and I know Ms. Steinberg was wondering about that, but we're working on the board goals this week.
Is there any chance that I could provide some feedback on that, given the time constraints? I know we talked about that last session.
Yes, no, we have it. We have it under control. Like, it's all written out and will be provided for feedback.
So after our meeting on Thursday, right now we have the general, which everybody's seen. We'll update it with the action items, and then it'll be provided to the entire board for review prior, and now I'm getting my dates messed up, but in the committee reports prior to the next meeting. So at that time is when you can submit any changes, additions, or suggestions whatever you've already submitted, we've seen so far, and we'll take that into consideration. Anything that the board has sent in, anything further after the action items are added, then we'll keep going forward like in that process.
Right. Well, I think that's great, and I'm glad to hear that there's been some movement. I'm a little anxious, and apologies if I don't want to undermine with my anxiety. So maybe you could help alleviate my concerns and just help me update, because this was originally discussed in August, and summer, and feedback was sent in the beginning of the fall, and we haven't seen the framework since then. And now we have an election coming up, and so the team that gave that feedback might be able to see the framework hopefully before the election. So I guess I'm a little nervous, because the NJBSA did ask us to do that, and they reminded us when the board does not act as a whole, it can undermine community confidence. And I keep thinking about that. And there's a lot more that has to happen after the framework comes. There has to be a conversation about that. There has to be agreement about that. Then we have to create goals and so on and so forth. And there's no way that can happen, even though an entire year of the board has passed since we met with the NJBSA in August. So I guess my question is, what are the timelines so that the very board that created, and was asked to do this by the NJBSA can actually work on this? Because I've offered to help twice now, and it just seems like we have it in hand isn't making me feel confident that we're going to move this forward.
What do you want to suggest?
No, I was going to suggest, because we were kind of talking about just timing and the rest. So if PPG gets through the goals at this meeting upcoming on Thursday,
Right.
there'll be that window from Thursday until our next board meeting, which would be the 7th, for comment. We could then actually use that board meeting for any additional public discussion that may need to have regarding them. And then we would have another PPG meeting right after, I think, just before the next board meeting on the 14th. So we'd have a chance to do feedback, public discussion, and then have a final PPG meeting to put it all together. So on the 14th, we'd have something final that has some thought in it.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, the goals are already created. It's the action items that we'll be
Right,
working
correct,
on.
the action
So
plan. Yeah, sorry.
if you have comments about the goals, they're already there.
The goals haven't been
The action items are what we will be working on this Thursday. The goals are already in place from everybody's feedback from the entire board.
I've only seen a partially completed matrix. I haven't seen, maybe we could take this offline. I've looked in the committee sheet, so maybe I'm not seeing the right document. That's quite possible. So if there's something for us to comment on, maybe it'd be helpful to send out an email telling everybody what we should comment on.
And where you should find it, right?
Yeah. That would be
that's probably
very
a good
helpful.
idea. Yeah.
And maybe if I'm seeing the wrong thing, that would be great, because I would love to be wrong on that,
Okay.
because I don't remember giving feedback on the goals.
So,
So I think, yeah, you
it's
want to say?
in the PPG section of the committees, right? You're not online right now, are you? Or no?
If you want to just send me an email with
Yeah,
a link, that would
okay.
be great,
We'll
and
do
that way
that
we
then.
can kick
Okay.
it off camera.
Yeah.
If I'm not looking at the right document, the one I saw last was updated
Yeah.
in December, so
Okay.
that would be great if I'm
No,
looking at the wrong one.
there is things in there. I'll
So,
send it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be great.
I would also like to comment that we already approved these goals as the direction that we're going to be taking. I don't know if it was the last meeting or the December meeting. The December meeting, so we already voted to go forward with those goals. So we're not backtracking to what we've already voted on. We're moving forward with the action items for those goals that we've already approved as a board.
Okay. Everybody good? All right. So with that, we will we'll start with recognizing the public on agenda action items only. During this portion of the meeting, district residents and staff are invited to address the Board of Education on agenda action items only. These are the color-coded items identified as numbers 10 through 13 on the current board agenda. There will be a second public comment period for non-action items that'll be at the end of the meeting after the vote. During this portion, as a courtesy, please allow students and current students and staff, of the Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in and state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable for the record, the specific action items they are commenting on, and ask that all remarks be directed to the board president or designee, not to individual members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a different staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate that participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration.
I am here today to talk about agenda item regarding the reassignment of the lead school secretary at Wilson, item 11V. I recently learned that Mrs. Michelle Verano, our esteemed and adored lead secretary at Wilson Elementary School, is being reassigned to the high school and replaced by someone from the board office. This is absolutely devastating news to the Wilson community. Mrs. Verano has been part of the Wilson School for quite some time now and is the heart and soul of our school. As the first person you see when you walk in the building, she has a friendly and familiar face who come to Wilson. Her work ethic, patience, and knowledge of our school is crucial to the success of our day-to-day operations. As a PTO board member, I've had the fortunate opportunity to work with her very closely, almost daily. I was just there this morning. And she is instrumental in the work that the PTO is able to accomplish at our school and to all the students and staff here at Wilson. The morale of our school will be completely ruined if Mrs. Verano is removed from our school, and I really want that to hit home to each of you sitting here today. If you don't know her personally, I wish you did, because she is an amazing individual and really important to the Wilson community. It's also important to share that her knowledge of the special student population that we have at Wilson, having been a paraprofessional herself, is so important and another reason to keep her at Wilson School. We cannot lose her, and we are heartbroken and really angered at this staffing change, and it feels very abrupt to us at Wilson. Over the weekend, we started an online petition that at this point, over 50% of our parents and many faculty members have signed in just less than 48 hours. The word is still getting out, as I just heard about this change this weekend. We want to get across how valuable and needed Ms. Verano is at our school. She's not an employee number to be shifted on paper from one school to another. She's the heart and soul of Wilson, as I've mentioned. I urge you to reconsider the staffing change and please vote against item 11V today and take time to consider alternatives that will allow Mrs. Verano to stay at Wilson. Thank you for your time, and I urge each of you to consider this carefully and save our secretary, please. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further comment, I think, I will close this portion of public comment and move to board action items. We'll start with the minutes. I will make a motion to approve the February 10th, 2026 regular board meeting minutes and executive session minutes. May I have a second, please? Kristen. Let me do this by voice vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Abstention for CJ. Thank you. Kristen, would you move the board action items on governance, please?
Sure. I'd like to move items A and B under governance on tonight's agenda. Can I have a second? Kent. Before we vote, I am going to read B. It's a resolution for the fine arts. Whereas the Westfield Board of Education acknowledges the essential role that arts education plays in stimulating creative thinking, cultural awareness, and academic achievement, and whereas Youth Art Month and Music in Our Schools Month are celebrated nationally during March, highlighting the importance of arts and music education for all children and encouraging support for quality school arts programs. And whereas engagement in art and music education has been shown to increase students' cognitive abilities, enhance their problem-solving skills, and improve their academic performance across all subjects. And whereas arts and music programs provide students with a means of expression that transcends language and cultural barriers, fostering an inclusive and supportive school community. And whereas the talents and creativity of young artists and musicians in our schools deserves recognition and celebration as they contribute significantly to the cultural vibrancy and well-being of our community. And whereas the Westfield Board of Education firmly believes in the value of providing students with comprehensive education that includes robust arts and music programs, now therefore be it resolved that the Westfield Board of Education hereby recognizes March as Youth Art Month and Music in Our Schools Month, and be it finally resolved that a copy of this resolution becomes part of the official minutes in this meeting. Thank you. So now we can vote.
Rob Bonaccia,
Yes.
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan, Charles Jelinas,
No to 10A, yes to 10B.
Layla Morelli.
Yes.
Sonal Patel.
Yes.
Kristen Sonic-Schmelz.
Yes.
Julie Steinberg.
No to A, yes to B.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All right. Mary, would you move the personnel items for the agenda, please?
Sure. I'd like to move items A to V under the Personnel section of tonight's agenda. Can I have a second? Kent, thank you. Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes, this evening I have a number of retirements that I'd like to acknowledge, beginning with Linda D'Onofrio. Linda has been a dedicated teacher in the Westfield Public Schools since 1996, working in first grade, kindergarten, and the Achieve program, and finishing her career in the very same classroom where it began. She has always cherished the moment when students' faces light up as they make discoveries and reach their goals, often sharing favorite books to inspire a love of reading and learning. In her classroom, Linda fostered a community of kindness and empathy, helping students build friendships and making sure even the quiet or hesitant children felt included. Some of her fondest memories include taking a student outside to experience his first snowfall and receiving thoughtful notes, artwork, and handmade jewelry from her young learners. Linda leaves with a warm appreciation of her students, families, and colleagues who have been touched by her care and commitment. Next up, we have Susan Colasar. Susan has been a dedicated health educator in the Westfield Public Schools since 1996, always keeping student wellness and well-being at the center of her work. Throughout her time at Westfield High School, she collaborated closely with the counseling department to implement innovative health programming such as Girl Guy Thing, and she advised clubs including the Dream Team and other mental health awareness groups. As a health teacher, she created a welcoming, open space where students could discuss challenging topics and guide them with care through many of the difficult situations they faced in high school and beyond. She leaves us with the respect of her colleagues and the gratitude of the many students whose lives she has touched. Lori Swanson. Lori has been an invaluable teacher in the Westfield Public Schools for over 36 years, beginning her career as a substitute teacher while she was still in college earning her degree, and going on to serve Tamaulipas and the district with extraordinary dedication. She is especially proud of the long-term relationship she has built with students and families, and her impact is also reflected in the many leadership roles she has taken on over the years. Lori negotiated multiple teacher contracts as part of the WEA negotiating team, served as a literacy coach since the role was first established, and contributed to district work through superintendent committees focused on policy development and instructional counsel. She brought joy and school spirit by participating in the variety show Teacher Act every year since it began, and she mentored and supported countless colleagues as a buddy teacher. Most recently, she spearheaded Glow Day for her fifth graders, creating an innovative and fun way to help students feel confident and prepared for the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment. Andrea Wohl. Andrea Wohl has been a dedicated educator serving students across 3 schools as both a classroom teacher and most recently an interventionist. Throughout her career, Andrea has supported learners across grade levels with hard work, thoughtful planning, and meticulous organization, helping countless children grow in both skill and confidence. She is known for arriving early, staying late, and being consistently available to students and families, while also serving as a trusted resource to colleagues and continually pursuing professional learning to better support students. She also brought joy and connection to her school committees through beautiful seasonal bulletin boards, volunteering at PTO family game nights, and the back-to-school kits she lovingly prepared, including a lifesaver to remind students she would always be there for them, and a mint to show them that they were worth a mint to her. Maria Martinez. Maria Martinez retires as an exceptional and deeply valued member of our school community after 25 years of dedicated service as a paraprofessional. As a native Spanish speaker and certified Spanish teacher, she has been an invaluable partner to our world language department, enriching students' learning and strong content knowledge, patient instructional support, and genuine care for every learner. Colleagues who have worked alongside her for more than 2 decades speak of her constant positivity, her kind words for and about others, and the way she has quietly modeled the very best of human behavior for students and staff alike. Her kindness, warmth, and ever-present smile have become a hallmark of the World Languages Hallway. Whether she was supporting students in the class or chaperoning them on the WHS exchange trip to Spain, Maria's generosity, professionalism, and gentle presence have made a lasting difference. And while she will deeply be missed, we are excited for her as she begins this next chapter in her life. And on behalf of the entire school community, we thank you for all your years of dedicated service across all of these retirees, and we wish them the best in their retirement.
Okay,
All set?
we're ready, right? Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan, Charles Jelinas,
No for V as in Victor 2, yes for all others.
Layla Morelli,
I abstain from B, and yes to all others.
abstain from B or V?
B.
B.
B as in boy.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz,
Oh, yes.
Julie Steinberg,
I abstain from V, yes to all others.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
All set? Okay. Next is the finance and facilities items with the always anticipated, rarely equaled donation report. There we go.
Thank you, Rob. First, though, we'd like to highlight items A through D. We're going to do this separate, and then we'll do the rest of it later. These items relate to the 26-27 budget, which if we approve tonight, then Patty can submit to the county tomorrow. We went through the presentation before, so I don't know if there's any questions, so I just want to highlight that, and I ask for a second before we move that on. Anyway, thank you, Sonal.
Okay, so this is for letters A through D. Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan, Charles Jelinas.
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz.
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Great. Now I'll move to the other part of the finance agenda, which is items E through V. And before I do that, I will highlight some donations. We have about $16,000 worth of donations tonight. First is Albert Anthony Cayol Foundation donating $2,500 to fund a presentation held by Dr. Michael Fallon, You Don't Know Me Until You Know Me, for WHS students. Second, Jefferson School PTO donated $10,950 to purchase 6 permanent outdoor basketball hoops for Jefferson School playground. Third, there was an anonymous donation of $500 for the Roosevelt Math Department. Fourth, there was an anonymous donation of $500 for the Roosevelt Drama Department. And then next, we have an NJEA WEA Pride Grant of $5,000, which was awarded to Dr. Kim Legan, the Westfield High School social studies teacher, to fund part of the Hate Ends Now cattle car exhibit at the Westfield High School. So thank you to all these 5 generous donations, which brings our year-to-date total to $305,796.44. Thank you. May I have a second, please? Thank you, Sonal.
Okay, Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan, Charles Jelinas.
Yes.
Layla Morelli,
Yes.
Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz.
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Next is curriculum instruction and programs. Layla?
I'd like to move items A and B under the curriculum agenda, into the curriculum section of tonight's agenda. Do I have a second? CJ?
Right. Rob Bonaccio,
Yes.
Ken Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan, Charles Jelinas.
Yes.
Layla Morelli. Sonal Patel,
Yes.
Kristen Sonic Schmeltz,
Yes.
Julie Steinberg,
Yes.
Mary Wickens.
Yes.
Okay, I'll call the board's attention to the notes for the record. No unfinished or new business submitted for the agenda. Next is liaison reports, if anyone has them. Julie, go for it.
Okay.
UCESC continues to move along with its plans for construction and to expand. Just a reminder, as the liaison, I want to briefly note that in addition to providing those services, including transportation coordination, specialized education supports, I want to mention that they will be hosting a focus group session on May 1st titled Partnering with Your ESC, Maximizing Services in Tight Budgets. The session is intended to gather feedback from districts on fiscal pressures and potential service partnerships and is geared towards superintendents, directors of special services, business administrators, other senior officials in the department, and child study team leaders. I'm happy to share the information with anyone who may be interested. I may, in fact, have already emailed you, and just wanted to make sure it was on your calendars or on your staff's calendars, May 1st, 12 to 3 o'clock. Please do attend if you can. They are really looking for feedback, and the earlier we sign up for these programs, the more likely it is that they will staff for them and make sure that we are included in these very useful programs, both budgeting and staffing-wise. Thank you.
Mary?
Hi, I just want to give a little update from the Rec Commission. Just letting the community know that the spring programs for youth and seniors is now out and taking registrations. And you can sign up using Civic Rec at westfieldnewjersey.com/recreation. Also on the website is for Summer Playground, and that is open.
Thank you very much. Any other reports? All right. With that, we'll do a final public comment section. During this portion of the meeting, members of the public are invited to address the Board of Education on any topic. As a courtesy, please allow current students and staff of the Westfield Public Schools to speak first. The board requests that individuals sign in, state their name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable for the record, and asks that all remarks be directed to the board president or designee, not to individual board members or staff. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. If a matter concerning a district staff member is of interest or concern to a resident, the matter should be referred to the responsible building principal, superintendent of schools, or the Board of Education, either by telephone, letter, or email. Although the board may not respond to items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from the meeting or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. Seeing no additional public comment, I will close that portion of the meeting and make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Mary? All in favor, we'll do voice vote. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are adjourned.